Yo, YouTube, what's up with your boy, Sports and Fitness Rants? I'm back, guys. Click that like button. Subscribe to my channel. What's up, y'all? Welcome back, guys. Welcome back, man. Got another great video for you guys today, as usual, man. You guys know the deal on this channel. It's all about setting the record straight, stopping the lies, stopping the narratives, stopping them from rewriting history, guys. And in this video, I want to do a continuation of what I was talking about last night in the live stream about Steph Curry being, him making players Hall of Famers when LeBron James could never do this. To me, LeBron James never made a player a Hall of Famer. There's not one player that you can say, this guy's a Hall of Famer because he played with LeBron James. Steph Curry, to me, has made Draymond Green the fact that Draymond Green's even in the conversation for Hall of Fame, all because Steph Curry and also Klay Thompson, these guys are Hall of Fame bound, all be on the strength of playing with Steph Curry, guys. So once again, we're going to talk about in this video how Steph Curry, to me, is greater all time than LeBron James. And we're going to talk and highlight the fact that LeBron James never made anyone better, never, maximized his teammates, and he never made anyone a Hall of Famer. And Steph Curry has made two players Hall of Fame worthy. And we're going to talk about this video, guys. Once again, exposing LeBron James as the greatest player of his era. I think it's Steph Curry now. And I want to thank you guys, everyone across the world, everyone across the states has been supporting my channel. Once again, guys, I am truly humbled. Shout out to everybody in the Philippines, everybody in England, Canada, Mexico, Spain, France, Germany, Croatia. Shout out to everybody in Ukraine. Shout out to everybody in Romania. Shout out to everybody out there in South Africa, Australia, New Zealand, Japan. Thank you to all you guys that, like I said, continue to support my channel. It really means a lot. The Bahamas, Puerto Rico, the Dominican Republic. Thank you very much, Sierra Leone. Shout out to all you guys out there. Italy, man. The Netherlands, Belgium, Switzerland. Shout out to Norway, Ireland. Thank you, everyone. Everyone across the states. New York, LA, DC, Chicago, North Carolina, South Carolina, Texas, Florida, Massachusetts, Boston. Shout out to everybody in Wisconsin. Shout out to everybody in Milwaukee, guys. Thank you very much for all your support, man. Ohio, thank you, guys. And you guys know what to do, man. Turn the volume all the way up. Hit that play button. Remember, these videos are for educational purposes. And let's roll. So, yes, guys, like I said, man, I want to do a continuation of what I was touching on yesterday in the live stream when I told you guys that, to me, I have to put Steph Curry above LeBron James all time. I just don't see how I can put LeBron James above Steph Curry. I just don't see how I can do it anymore. To me, Steph Curry, especially over the last, 5-6 years or so, has just been a greater player, man, by far. To me, the effort that LeBron James has been putting out there on the video footage, like I said, just standing around on defense, just lollygagging, blaming the teammates still getting coaches fired after all these years, still walking off the court early, still having a basic, boring, bland game. Like, his game doesn't capture the imagination, doesn't inspire anybody out there. We talked about this, right? Steph Curry at least inspires people. At least people want to go out there and be like Steph Curry, whether it's, good for the NBA or bad for the NBA. We've talked about these kinds of things, right? They still want to be like Steph Curry. They still want to, like I said, play his style of game because his style of game is a lot more creative, flashy, and more based off of skills than LeBron James' game. Does it take skills for LeBron James to be 6'9", 260 and just drive down the court into people? That doesn't take any skills. There's no skills involved in this. Has LeBron James' game been, well-rounded or developed over the years? It hasn't, guys. It's regressed. We've talked about this. Since he left Miami, his game has gone downhill. It's regressed. It's gotten worse. It's become more boring and bland, right? He hasn't worked on his dribble. Can LeBron James dribble the ball any better than he could 10 years ago? Now? No, he's probably gotten worse at dribbling because the standards gotten so low now. All you see is LeBron James dribble like this. When he dribbles, hand under the ball like this. The man dribbles up to his neck, LeBron James. This is how he dribbles. Up to the neck. He can't dribble. Have you seen LeBron James bust out any moves? And like, damn, man, he developed this ball handling ability, these dribble moves. No dribble moves. I told you, every once in a while, the sun will shine on LeBron James, man, and he'll pull a move out. But it ain't like that. It's not consistent, and it always looks awkward and clunky and clumsy, LeBron James, out there on the court. So his overall handle, the man still turned the ball over at a high level, right? Has his jump shot got any? No, his jump shot's not got any better. And when you hear people talk about his three-point shooting over the last several seasons, it's laughable to anyone or for anyone to think that LeBron James actually being guarded out there on the three-point line. No one's guarding this man. You remember LeBron James in the NBA Finals against the San Antonio Spurs? Greg Popovich dared this man to shoot. because he can't shoot. They dared him to shoot. Let LeBron James shoot all day because he can't beat us that way. That's what they did. You think anyone would do it to a Steph Curry in the finals? You think anyone would do it to a Michael Jordan in the finals? Hey, let Michael Jordan shoot, man. He can't hurt us from out there. No, that's not the case. That's why they always try to get the ball out of Michael Jordan's hands. Meanwhile, LeBron James, they'll just say, yeah, let LeBron James shoot out there because he ain't going to do nothing. And he doesn't do anything. So he hasn't developed a jump shot over the years. Once again, he's gotten worse. How many air balls from the free throw line have you seen LeBron James shoot over the last 10 seasons, guys? Just over the last 10 years. More air balls than any other superstar in the history of the game, guys, especially for a skilled position. He's not a big man, right? He's not Shaquille O'Neal or Wilt Chamberlain, Bill Russell, or some of these big men from the free throw line that struggled. LeBron James is supposed to be a quote-unquote skilled player, a skilled position player on the perimeter. Can't shoot free throws to save his life, though. Air ball and left and right. This man has several seasons shooting in the 60s. So, we're talking about the overall game of LeBron James versus Steph Curry. Give me Steph Curry all day. Once again, Steph Curry's game has evolved. He's developed. And once again, he can do things without the ball in his hands. He allows his teammates to have a role. So this goes into what we're talking about in this video. Steph Curry making people, the players around him, Hall of Famers. Making them great, giving them a role. Right? Steph Curry's not perfect. You guys know I've taken many shots at Steph Curry on this channel, and I'm giving the facts about Steph Curry. I do not believe he's a top 10 player. I don't believe he's anywhere close to top 10 all time. For me, Steph Curry's in that top 20 range, right? Top 15 to top 20. For me, somewhere around there. Maybe he's 17th, maybe he's 18th. He's somewhere in there for me. I do not believe he's the next guy outside of the top 10 or, number 12 or 13. I don't believe he's in that range. But once again, if you had him in that area, I got no beef with it as long as he's ahead of LeBron James, guys, because that's where I'm at right now. But to me, what Steph Curry has done, I think he surpassed LeBron James when we talk about the overall game, allowing your teammates, like I said, to have a role, to be successful. This is really the big, separation with me between Steph Curry and LeBron James. What have they allowed their teammates to do with them? Right? We often hear people say LeBron James makes the people around him better. He carries bums. He carries these guys. I think Steph Curry actually carried more than LeBron James did. Because LeBron James might, quote-unquote, carry a team to the postseason. He might get them to the second round. They might go to the conference finals. They'll tell you that in 2007, he carried that team to the finals. But he never won no championship, quote-unquote, carrying anybody. But he was carried to the championships many times. So when you talk about Steph Curry winning in 2022, this man was out there carrying the Golden State Warriors to that championship. Not saying that guys did not contribute. Andrew Wiggins played his role. He was a solid two-way player during that postseason run. But once again, Andrew Wiggins, can anyone tell me what Andrew Wiggins did when he was drafted to the Minnesota Timberwolves? Right? He wasn't doing anything there. He was kind of like lost, it seemed like, in Minnesota. Andrew Wiggins on those teams. I think Karl Anthony Towns might have been on those teams with him. I think maybe even Jimmy Butler might have been on that team for, I think, a year. If I remember correctly, Andrew Wiggins being on that Minnesota Timberwolves team. But they were always one of those teams that you really didn't know what was up with them. And Andrew Wiggins really seemed like he didn't have a role. He didn't really seem like he had like a personality, really. He didn't really seem like he knew what he was doing out there. So then he comes to the Golden State Warriors and he finds a role. He finds a home, right? And why was that? Because someone like Steph Curry allowed in Andrew Wiggins to come in there and, like I said, find that role, to find himself, to find out where he fit in. And he was able to fit in so much so that they were able to win a championship. But remember, meanwhile, LeBron James did not want Andrew Wiggins. LeBron James wanted the Cleveland Cavaliers to trade their number one draft pick away, which was Andrew Wiggins. We all knew this. And he wanted Kevin Love, who was a literally established star of the NBA at this time. Kevin Love was averaging like 25 points a game, like 13, 14 rebounds or whatever he was doing. The man, if I remember correctly, Kevin Love had a 30-30 game. If I remember correctly, I'm pretty sure. A 30-30 game. Once again, man, you name me the player that Steph Curry played with that's going to get a 30-30 game. It's not happening, guys. Not happening. You name me the player that Michael Jordan played with that's going to grab a 30-30 game. Dennis Rodman might grab 30 rebounds in a game, but we know he ain't sniffing 30 points at the same time, guys. Scottie Pippen might drop 30 points in a game, but he ain't sniffing 30 rebounds, guys. So once again, these are the kinds of plays that LeBron James wanted on his team. He wanted Kevin Love. He requested and demanded Kevin Love. So he didn't want to develop Andrew Wiggins. Steph Curry did. Andrew Wiggins now on his resume is an NBA champion because of someone like Steph Curry, allowing him to come in and find that role. Steph Curry's greatness rubbing off on the players around him. So, like I told you in the title of this video, Steph Curry made people Hall of Famers when LeBron James never did this. LeBron James never made anyone a Hall of Famer. Like I said, there's no one you can point to and say, LeBron James made this guy a Hall of Famer, or this guy's going to make the Hall of Fame because he played with LeBron James. Let's think about this. We can clearly state, and I said this just in the live stream, that Draymond Green, to me, is not a Hall of Famer. But let's assume he's probably going to get in the Hall of Fame, guys, which is really sad because I told you there are many other guys that are not in the Hall of Fame right now that to me are greater than Draymond Green. Is Amari Stoudemire a Hall of Fame worthy player? Now, I don't know if he's eligible for the Hall of Fame yet. I'm not sure. I'm not saying that he got snubbed. But to me, Amari Stoudemire is a Hall of Famer over a Draymond Green. I told you guys know how I feel about Kevin Johnson. I grew up watching Kevin Johnson in the 80s and the 90s, the golden era of NBA. Kevin Johnson, to me, should have been the Hall of Fame before Tim Hardaway. Not saying that Tim Hardaway doesn't deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. I love Tim Hardaway, man. Once again, playing the golden era, grew up watching Tim Hardaway. Mad respect for Tim Hardaway. But to me, Kevin Johnson was a better player. And to me, once again, Kevin Johnson played in an NBA Finals. He made it to a Western Conference Finals before Charles Barkley got there. So I got a lot of respect for Kevin Johnson and what he did out there on the court, man. So for me, Kevin Johnson should be in the NBA Hall of Fame before a Draymond Green. I remember when people were talking about, a couple years back, people were talking about Draymond Green, a Hall of Famer. And I said, there's no way that Draymond Green should be mentioned with the Hall of Fame before someone like Ben Wallace gets in. Because at the time, Ben Wallace was not in the Hall of Fame. And I said, there's no way this man should get in unless Ben Wallace is in there, or at least Ben Wallace needs to be in there. So Michael Cooper wasn't in the Hall of Fame at the time yet. I said, where's someone like a Michael Cooper? Michael Cooper. Where was someone like him? There's other guys. Larry Nance, to me, was a greater player than Draymond Green, guys. Larry Nance not in the Hall of Fame. I don't even believe he's even close to making the Hall of Fame, Larry Nance. How about Tom Chambers? Tom Chambers not a Hall of Famer over a Draymond Green? There are a lot of guys that we can think about in the history of the NBA, guys, that have not made the Hall of Fame that to me were just better than Draymond Green. Not saying they're Hall of Famers, but they're better than Draymond Green. So if he's going to get in off the strength of playing with Steph Curry and having 4 championships, then damn it, those other guys should be in the Hall of Fame also. And there's a bunch of other names that we can throw out there, guys that are borderline Hall of Famers or should be in the Hall of Fame before someone like Draymond Green gets in. But once again, Draymond Green's even in this conversation. Why? Draymond Green's own podcast. Draymond Green has commercials. Why is this, guys? Because he played with Steph Curry and the Warriors. That's the only reason. He's not getting these things off the strength of his game or what he's accomplished in his career, because what he accomplished, those 4 championships, all on Steph Curry. Now, yes, Draymond Green's been a solid defensive player of this week's era of NBA. I believe he's made 7 or 8 all-defensive teams. We all know he won Defensive Player of the Year award. Once again, in a fraudulent era, guys. So, when we talk about Draymond Green and what he did for the Golden State Warriors, he was absolutely a key contributor. He was a role player for the Warriors. But role players don't make Hall of Fames, do they? Did Draymond Green ever win a Finals MVP? No, he was a role player, guys. A role player, like a Michael Cooper was on the Lakers. Except Michael Cooper played his role, like I said, more masterfully than Draymond Green. Draymond Green took away from Steph Curry and the Warriors like he did in 2016, getting suspended. That was never going to be a Michael Cooper. So when we talk about some of these guys that made the Hall of Fame or borderline Hall of Famers, Draymond Green's not a borderline Hall of Famer to me, but he's probably going to get in the Hall of Fame because he played with Steph Curry, guys. Literally, that's it. The man averages what? 8 points, 6 rebounds, and like 6 assists for his career. He's going to make the Hall of Fame. Once again, you see how arrogant Draymond Green is? You see how he talks and carries himself with his chest out? Why is that? Because you play with Steph Curry. Where's Draymond Green without Steph Curry, guys? He's not even close to the Hall of Fame. He makes no all-star selections. He does nothing. Nothing, Draymond Green, without playing on the team with Steph Curry, guys. Those are the facts. Once again, not saying that Draymond Green did not contribute or add to the championships. He was a member, a role player, guys, a role player. He was there to assist Steph Curry. LeBron James, who can you say that he's done that for? Can you think of anyone? Dwayne Wade? No, Dwayne Wade would have made the Hall of Fame regardless. Chris Bosh, Hall of Famer regardless, guys. Now, once again, does Chris Bosh win a championship without going to the stacked Miami Heat? We don't know. But Chris Bosh wouldn't need a championship to be a Hall of Famer. He would have just been a Hall of Famer with no ring. Like Charles Barkley and Karl Malone, John Stockton. He would have been one of those guys. A guy who was a really good player, a great player in his era, never won a championship. So once again, Chris Bosh, Hall of Famer without LeBron. The man was like a 24-10 every single season for the Toronto Raptors. And once again, he had no other superstar help or star talent on his team. Chris Bosh was out there playing with solid role players like Mo Peterson, Anthony Parker. What was the other guy's name? Aaron Williams, I think. I'm trying to think of some of the other guys that were on those Toronto Raptors teams, man. And this Anthony Parker is Candace Parker's brother, guys. That was Anthony Parker, was on those Toronto Raptors. This is who Chris Bosh was playing with. Mo Peterson. Not saying these guys are not good players. They're role guys. But this is who he had in his team, and he was leading these teams to the playoffs essentially every single season, guys, Chris Bosh. We all know Ray Allen's a Hall of Famer without that championship in Miami. He's a Hall of Famer regardless. Like I said, even if he never won a championship in Boston or Miami, Ray Allen, Hall of Fame player without ever playing with LeBron James. Those are the facts, guys. Remember, Ray Allen was in the NBA before LeBron James. Who else can you name that LeBron James played with? Is anyone else? Is Kyrie Irving, Hall of Famer without LeBron James? Once again, does Kyrie Irving win a championship if he's down the stacked Cleveland Cavaliers super team that LeBron James had to build up? Would he have won a championship, Kyrie Irving? We don't know that. But the facts remain, Kyrie Irving would have been a Hall of Fame player regardless. The talent was there. The skills were there without LeBron James. He didn't need LeBron James to develop him. He didn't need LeBron James' leadership. None of this stuff. What Kyrie Irving needed was LeBron James always needs. Kyrie Irving needed some help, right? Is that what LeBron James always needs? That's what Kyrie Irving needed in Cleveland. They were mired in mediocrity. They weren't winning any games. But Kyrie Irving was obviously a Hall of Famer. He had that talent. So he didn't make Kyrie Irving a Hall of Famer. Kyrie Irving wasn't even better with LeBron James. Kyrie Irving was doing what Kyrie Irving does, like he did in the 2016 finals. But LeBron James fans, LeBron James himself, won't give Kyrie Irving any credit for going out there and outplaying Steph Curry in the finals. Literally outplayed Steph Curry in the 2016 finals, averaged 27 points a game. We all know he hit the game winner. LeBron James fans, LeBron James don't want to acknowledge Kyrie Irving. The man's a Hall of Famer without LeBron James, man. Those are the facts. Anthony Davis, regardless of his injuries, does he win a championship? We don't know. The man's a Hall of Famer regardless of LeBron James. LeBron James did not do anything for Anthony Davis. He didn't build up Anthony Davis. He didn't enhance Anthony Davis. Nothing. Anthony Davis would have been Anthony Davis with or without LeBron James because that's who Anthony Davis was. Remember, Anthony Davis requested a trade off his team. The man was a perennial MVP candidate, a perennial All-Star, a perennial Defensive Player of the Year award candidate, a winner candidate, without LeBron James, guys. Once again, the only problem with Anthony Davis was he was frail. That's his knock. That's Anthony Davis' problem. The man's soft. He's frail. His body can't take anything. That's his problem. The man was still a Hall of Famer without LeBron James. So there's no one that you can think of that LeBron James played with, and you're like, damn, he made this guy a Hall of Famer. I told you guys, Kevin Love, Hall of Fame without LeBron James. So all these guys, the stars that he played with, he didn't make them Hall of Famers or lift them up, enhance their career, so to speak. He actually pulled their careers back. Kevin Love's career got worse after he played with LeBron James. Remember, Kevin Love had to go see a psychologist. People tell you now Kevin Love is trash. This is what LeBron James fans say. The man was one of the elite power forwards in the game. I don't understand. Only with LeBron James do you get remembered for being worse than you were. How about Russell Westbrook? Did LeBron James make Russell Westbrook greater or a Hall of Fame type player? No, Russell Westbrook was an MVP winner, averaging triple-doubles consecutive seasons, doing all these things without LeBron James, man. Without Kevin Durant, he won an MVP. Kevin Durant ain't sniffed no MVP without Russell Westbrook, though. Isn't that ironic, guys? So funny. Same thing with some of these other guys. So when we talk about LeBron James, and you talk about, the guys that he played with, he didn't make Russell Westbrook greater. Russell Westbrook actually being remembered for being worse. Remember they were highlighting all the turnovers for Russell Westbrook? This man was an MVP winner. An MVP winner. Draymond Green is not sniffing an MVP, guys. Not sniffing it. LeBron James played with these kinds of guys, man. Russell Westbrook. How about Carmelo Anthony? Was Carmelo Anthony greater, better, his career enhanced playing with LeBron James? No. Carmelo Anthony was a Hall of Fame regardless. Right, regardless, even with that embarrassment season, which was the 2022 season, when LeBron James chose to keep that same energy, Carmelo Anthony was still a Hall of Famer. Russell Westbrook still a Hall of Famer. Right? Someone like Rajon Rondo is a borderline Hall of Famer. Is Rajon Rondo going to get in? Right? But Draymond Green can get in? It does. See, just what we're talking about. But Rajon Rondo was great before LeBron James. Right? The things that he did on Boston, playing with Kevin Garnett and Ray Allen and Paul Pierce, that was before LeBron James, man. Rajon Rondo, whatever he did in his career. I mean, think about what Rajon Rondo did for the Lakers in that 2020 bubble run. He was a key member for them. I told you LeBron James stacked up another super team in 2020. His fans tried to tell me that wasn't a super team. Dude, he had Anthony Davis request a trade to go to that team. That's a super team right there, man. That's some nonsensical finagling. Your best friend's the agent of this guy, and he requests a trade, gets to your team, and all of a sudden saves you guys? The first year Anthony Davis gets there, they're one of the top defensive teams in the league. The bubble year. That's a super team. You had Rajon Rondo, Dwight Howard on that team. Are you kidding me? Once again, Dwight Howard, another guy, Hall of Famer, not because he played with LeBron James, on the strength of his own skills, his own hard work. Dwight Howard, one of the great defensive guys of his era, one of the great big men of his era. And like I said, the dude went out there and was a contributor to that 2020 bubble championship for the Lakers. And Dwight Howard's not a Hall of Famer because of LeBron James. Dwight Howard's a Hall of Famer before LeBron James on the strength of his own hard work and his own skills, his own game. That's why he's a Hall of Famer. Has nothing to do with LeBron James. So as you guys can see, there is not one play that you can point to and say, LeBron James made this guy a Hall of Famer. Where I can clearly point to Draymond Green. I can clearly point to Klay Thompson, who to me is not a Hall of Famer without playing with Steph Curry, guys. Now, we can argue back and forth. Does Steph Curry win 4 championships without Draymond Green, without Klay Thompson, without Steve Kerr's system? We can go. That's the greatness of Steph Curry, though. Same thing with Tim Duncan. Are you going to argue, oh, is Tim Duncan winning championships without Tony Parker, without Manu Ginobili? Without Greg Popovich? It's Tim Duncan. He allowed Greg Popovich to do these things. He allowed Manu Ginobili and Tony Parker to be great. That's the leadership of Tim Duncan. Not to mention his exploits on both sides of the ball. But when we talk about Steph Curry, his overall game, his ability to move without the basketball, to create space for other players, other opportunities for other players, right? That's what he does at a high level. Once again, doesn't need the ball in his hands to be effective, which allows Draymond Green to play the point forward, which allows Klay Thompson to get his shots up and find his spots on the court, have those open looks because everyone's focusing on Steph Curry, right? So yes, Steph Curry has to, get some help on the defensive end. Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, the Andrew Bogut's, the Andre Iguodala's. These guys stepped up in those roles to play behind Steph Curry. But all of those guys were greater because of Steph Curry and his overall game and what he allowed them to do. Steve Kerr didn't get fired. Do you guys think that LeBron James is going to let Steve Kerr coach him all these years? No. Steve Kerr would have been out of there years ago. He would have been on his 4th or 5th coach by now. Steph Curry, what did he have, 2 coaches since he was in Golden State? Maybe 3 when he first got there. I'm not sure. Maybe Don Nelson or whoever was the coach when he first got there. Then you had Mark Jackson. Now Steve Kerr. But he's not. LeBron James went through more coaches in his 7-8 years in LA than Steph Curry has gone through his entire career, guys. Once again, being coachable and allowing your teammates to have a role, right? Playing in his system. That's on LeBron James. And Klay Thompson, Draymond Green are the big beneficiaries of this. I mean, even think about someone like Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant's a Hall of Famer regardless of the championships. We know that. Steph Curry didn't make Kevin Durant a Hall of Famer. Steph Curry made Kevin Durant a champion, though. He damn sure did, because Kevin Durant ain't winning no championships without going to that Golden State Warriors team. And we've all seen that Steph Curry has proven that he could win a championship without Kevin Durant. He's won twice without Kevin Durant. One before and one after. Those are just the facts, guys. So what Kevin Durant did in Golden State, great for him. You better be thanking Steph Curry, man. Steph Curry made Kevin Durant a champion by coming there, right? And I told you, I knocked Steph Curry for allowing Kevin Durant to come to his team like that. That was a weak move by both of them. It's weaker on Kevin Durant's behalf, but Steph Curry's supposed to be the leader of that team. He should have said, nah, we don't need you here, dude. We're good. This is my team. I don't need Kevin Durant to come here. But nonetheless, Kevin Durant comes there because he knows that he's not a real leader and he can't lead a team. So he has to come and be a front runner on a team with an all-time great player, a player who's greater than him, and lead them to a championship. So yes, Kevin Durant might have the finals MVPs because he was going against LeBron James in the finals, who essentially did not guard him. He was out there going against Richard Jefferson and Jeff Green and some of these other guys. That's no knock on them. But LeBron James didn't step up and take the challenge. Did he? No. Meanwhile, Steph Curry's going against Kyrie Irving, who came to play every damn time. Not LeBron James, who was ducking screens and lollygagging out there, right? That's who Kevin Durant was going against to win his finals MVPs. Not impressed. So as you guys can see, Steph Curry made 2 players Hall of Famers. Klay Thompson, Draymond Green are not sniffing the Hall of Fame without playing with Steph Curry, guys. Those are the facts, man. Steph Curry allowed those guys to have roles. So they played their roles, and the Golden State Warriors were able to win championships. right? Because Steph Curry was a leader of a team. And I told you, to me, Steph Curry's not one of the great leaders in NBA's history. He's not up there with the Kobe's and the Bill Russells, the Michael Jordans, the Larry Birds, the Magic Johnsons, the Jerry Wests. He's not up there with those guys, the Tim Duncans, as far as leadership goes. But the man obviously was a leader for the team because, as I said, he allowed these guys to have these roles. To me, he allowed too much. He allowed Draymond Green to feel too much, to think that he was too great because he played with Steph Curry. He never checked Draymond Green. He should have done that years ago. Never did. But Klay Thompson, all these guys benefited, man. LeBron James hasn't made anyone a Hall of Fame player, even though they tell us he makes the players around him better. He carries bombs and this and that. The facts remain. Michael Jordan made Scottie Pippen a Hall of Famer, guys. He literally built up Scottie Pippen from nothing. From nothing. I told you, we can argue that Kobe Bryant made Pau Gasol a Hall of Famer. Was Pau Gasol a first ballot surefire Hall of Famer before he won those championships in LA? I would say no, guys. I would say no. So those two champions just playing alongside Kobe Bryant, right? Helping Pau Gasol develop more to his game, to become more of a competitor, right? That enhanced Pau Gasol's career, guys. It enhanced it. Didn't bring it back. Didn't take away from it. It enhanced it. Made him a surefire Hall of Famer. That's what Kobe Bryant did for a Pau Gasol. Right? We could talk about guys like Michael Cooper, like I mentioned, becoming Hall of Famers because they played with guys like Magic Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. These guys were enhanced. It helped their careers to play with some of these all-time great players. That's just the facts, man. So when we talk about these guys, and, Steph Curry, LeBron James, I think it's clear that Steph Curry made the players around him greater, did more with less. Do you think LeBron James winning championships with Draymond Green as his second or third best player, or Klay Thompson as his second or third best player? LeBron James was barely struggling with Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh as his second and third best players. You're struggling with Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love as your second and third best players, and a host of role players on the bench. So yes, the Warriors had a deep roster for many of those runs, but they also were deep, and they had a roster of guys that could come in because of their star player. You tell me LeBron James ain't had deep rosters? How many trades and free agents has he had? This man, all kinds of players on that team, on all these teams over the years. So you guys know the deal. Give me Steph Curry with LeBron James all time. This man has made two players Hall of Famers. LeBron James ain't made no one a Hall of Famer. You guys know the deal, man. I'll catch you guys on the next one.